morning to you. It must be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this beautiful Thursday, January 21st of 2021, because it's time for another edition of Hardison's Tips. Yes, we help our brothers and sisters in all of the verticals, whether it's major account, key account, up and down the street, retail sales, in home sales, or even automotive sales. So you're trying to get dressed to get to work. I want to touch on this quickly today. Know how to close a deal. Are you good at closing deals, or this is why you keep leaving a sales position going from one to another because you're good at listening, taking notes, demonstrating, or presenting a product. But closing a deal is a skill, closing a deal is an art. People can be in sales for decades and can still not close a deal. So I think one of the biggest mistakes, I should say, is that sales representatives make it very hard for them to understand how to move from presenting the product to actually getting the buyer to commit. In fact, I always recommend rehearsing the close as much as the presentation, and even having a different option or options to allow your prospect to choose from. This will allow you to present different options that can go with the flow of the conversation in a natural, comfortable, and a convenient way. Now, we already talked about running to different sales jobs. Don't give up. According to several top sales professionals in training, including myself, it takes an average of 7 to 10 contacts to get to a point where you are selling into a C suite or large corporation buyer. These sources also report that the most low to average productivity and production when it comes to sales professionals closing deals after 3 to 5 attempts. By staying persistent and learning about your target client and industry statistics will make you more successful. That's where the needs assessment, the asking questions, the qualifying comes into play. And if you did not recap all of the words of that conversation, the customer is still going to be on their way of thinking because you never got a commitment that you had a solution specifically for them. You allowed them still to have an open window. So be the first to call on someone. Surveys by groups, think tanks, state that the first salesperson to contact clients is going to get 50% more of the prospects that they contact first. This means that if you're the first to suggest a solution to a problem for a company through your product and services, you are 50% more likely to get the sale, unless you're lazy. Get visuals. Imagine an incredibly powerful aid and tool that will solidify your sales presentation. They can be incorporated into all types of presentations, including in person, as well as short videos, also PowerPoints. There's a lot of things to drive home your point. Research does show that humans' brains are able to process a visual image up to 60,000 times faster than the same information in text form. So we call it, if you've ever heard of it, something called neural linguistic programming, NLP for short. If you just put in NLP in your favorite search engine, you'll get a plethora of information of how this exact science works. People in the short form are visual, auditory, kinesthetic, touchy-feely, or a combination of some sort. That's why when you're doing your needs assessment, qualifying, asking high gain questions, we're doing and presenting it and saying so we can find out if this customer is a visual, if the customer is more auditory or much touchy feely. By doing that, we can tailor our presentation moving forward. Also, be a storyteller. In my lifetime, people get too technical. Your company that you work for, they give you all these great things to study. And sometimes when you're presenting it to someone, it's over their head. It's too deep. You're using acronyms that they don't know about. Make it plain. Paint a picture. Give an example. Tell a story. Salespeople are the best storytellers around, not liars. It's just because they've sat in so many people's offices, or if you're in a different world, you have so many customers that come in, you're hearing different stories. It was found through several studies that about 63% of people remembered the facts of the story, while only about 5% remembered the same facts or information when it was provided as an unrelated piece of information. So we need to make sure we practice. That's the key thing. I have a closing video that we'll do next time. In the meantime, you have to get going. You have a beautiful Thursday on this outstanding 21st day of January 2021. Once again, Brandon Hardison, President of Champion Strategies, with another Hardison's tips for the day. And as always, in parting, you go out and you make it a champion.